Hey, thanks everybody, appreciate it. I brought a lot of instruments, that way y'all don't get bored and I don't get bored, and you know, I don't even want to see myself play banjo for 45 minutes, you know. It's wonderful to be here. This is my first festival of the season, thus the dot, you know. I like to get down on some face paint in the festival season. It's one of my favorite things. I was getting ready to go today before I left the house, and I asked my lady, I was like trying to figure out what I was gonna wear, because it's supposed to be 90 degrees, but I'm playing indoors. I don't like to wear shorts on stage because my legs are still too pale for the winter time. So I compromised on some capris and Birkenstocks, you know. And I asked my lady, I was like, what do you think? How do I look? She's like, well, you look like Steve Irwin's hippie redneck cousin, but I think that's just kind of who you are, you know? So I appreciate that, and I also like to send a shout out to Bridgetown Bluegrass for just letting me be the only solo guy on this stage today. I really appreciate that. I think the only solo person at this whole festival, which is a weird thing, you know. But I'm gonna play y'all a drinking song that I wrote a couple of weeks ago. I'm gonna send it out to one of my good friends. Now I'm fortunate enough to have a big basement space where I let a lot of bands sleep when they come through town. I got like a couple beds down there, and it's a real godsend when you're on tour, you know, to have multiple beds. One bed alone, much less multiple beds, and I've had a lot of bands coming through because it's spring tour right now. But my buddy Sam Chase's band came through a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned his name in this song, but I'd like to send it out to him wherever he is. He'll be here in Portland in a couple of weeks, so y'all should keep an eye out and check out for him. But I had this band from Germany that stayed in my house a couple of weeks ago. They're called the Trouble Notes, and they're a lot of fun. But they came home a little late. They came home pretty drunk, about 2 a.m., and I was waiting up for them with the light on, sitting on the porch. And we were getting all settled in, and my dog went missing, and I couldn't find the dog anywhere. I was like, you guys, have you seen my dog? And they were like, oh yeah, we dropped a cheeseburger down the stairs. I was like, I'm sorry, what? They're like, yeah, we dropped a cheeseburger down your stairs, but he's cleaning it up. I was like, oh, well, thanks guys. I'm sorry, you dropped a cheeseburger down my stairs? So this one goes out to them and some of those late nights of drinking. Well, all my friends drink Bullet, but I drink Buffalo Trace. Oh, thanks to my good buddy, the Sam Chase. Well, my family drinks their wine by the gallon from old glass bottles. Well, I drink mine from cans by the river's rushing waters. But I don't care because I drink. We're gonna pour up another. Might as well sit here for a while with this foolish grin, just looking at her smile. But I don't care because I drink on the banks of the river. Who's to say it's a shame or it's a problem? Who's to blame why we're this way or even bother? Sometimes you're mad, sometimes you're sad. It can devour. Sometimes you're glad when you catch a verse singing in the shower. And I don't care because I drink. I'm gonna pour up another. Might as well sit here for a while with this foolish foolish grin, just looking at her smile. But I don't care because I drink on the banks of the river. Wine or beer, dark or clear, it'll disappear. One for me, one for you, and the devil that we fear. We've all got our vices, and they come at different prices. We're all in this together, so let's be a little nicer. We're all in this together, so let's be a little nicer. And I don't care because I drink. I'm gonna pour up another. Might as well sit here for a while with this foolish grin, just looking at her smile. But I don't care because I drink on the banks of the river. Well, I don't care because I drink on the banks of the river. Well, I don't care because I drink on the banks of the river. Thank you. Because I drank. Speaking of drinking, I'm going to drink a little bit of water. So cheers if you got some water on you right now. It's a good day to stay hydrated and stuff. Or beer. If you got a beer, raise that too. We'll all cheers together. Yeah, there we go. Everybody's like, oh. I'll get to water later. Now, I'm lucky enough to live in Portland these days. But I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, down on the coast down there in Georgia. And I got to see a good generation in Savannah. And now my parents got divorced when I was 4 years old. They're still good friends, but my mom married a man who was 9 years older than her, and my dad married a woman who was 9 years younger than him. So the difference between my step-parents is about 18 years, which is an interesting generational dynamic to grow up with, you know. But my stepdad also grew up in Georgia, in Savannah, and his mom bought a house there in the 30s, right in the middle, or back then it was in the outskirts of town, but as the city grew, it kind of grew up around her little tiny home. And now it's kind of in the middle of a bit of a rough area in Savannah. And she's been passed away for a couple years now, but this is a song that I wrote about her house a little while ago, and it's kind of a fond memory that I have of a drive-by shooting that happened one time when I was hanging out at her house. Same furniture and old paint job these walls had ever known. Might how things had changed. Now her children were all grown. The neighbors got sketchy, but Martha, she carried on. Lock your car, hurry inside. The lure of biscuits in the air, and the smell of salted pork. Tea so sweet, could have been syrup on a hot pancake. Had that country kind of feeling, even in the city. Baking on the skillet, paints and brushes around. The dirty South is moving in, dirty South is moving in. Martha's kitchen. Paints and projects on the dining room table. Around the small kitchen we sat, while she puttered about just as fast as she was able. On the block, the sound of loud gunshots. Well, Mama hits the floor and pulls us children close by. Martha barely even stuttered, barely batted an eye. Bullets popping on the corner, and pork, it was popping on the stove. Had that country kind of feeling, even in the city, baking on the skillet, paints and brushes around. The dirty South is moving in, dirty South is moving in, but I never had to worry. In Martha's kitchen. Race on the radio and sweat on my tea glass. Damn flies buzzing around. Garments blowing in the wind. On that line, through that window. We just sat there with our blank stare at the air. Sound of slippers on linoleum floor. Here, honey, have some eggs, just a little bit more. Well, I eat them all, and those biscuits, they turn to crumbs. Had that country kind of feeling, even in the city, baking on the skillet, paints and brushes around. The dirty South is moving in, dirty South is moving in, but I never had to worry. No, I never had to worry. No, I never had to worry. In Martha's kitchen.
Really quick, hi there folks, just wanted to let you know that a neighbor walking by noticed that there was a white dog in a black Subaru on Mallory Street. So if that happens to be your pooch, it would be a good idea to check on it. We all know how dogs can overheat really quick in a car. So we just promised them we would make that announcement. So if that's your car, go ahead and get your doggy.
All right. Yeah. Save the dogs, you know. Speaking of dogs, I've got a dog. His name is Wiggle Bear. And he's kind of the face of my Instagram because it gets pretty obnoxious if I just take selfies of myself every day. So I use him as my little Instagram model. And, I've had him for about 11 years now. He's been living like rent-free, healthcare-free the whole time. But he's trying to do better. He's trying to do right. So he's got some stickers for sale back there in my merch booth. Trying to pay for his own dog food these days. It's not a joke. There's literally stickers of my dog back there at my merch booth. He outsells me like literally every single time. People will come up to me at the merch booth after the show and they were like, "No, I didn't really like what you did, but I'm gonna buy you a sticker for your dog." And I was like, "Thanks, man, thanks." I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and get out Big Bertha here. This is a cello banjo or an octave banjo. Some of my friends call it the fart box. You can call it what you want depending on your views on it. But I'm going to play a song that I wrote a couple years ago down in South America. The name of the song, it's got kind of a silly name. It's called Falcon Misterioso. Mostly because I'm bad at speaking Spanish. When I was down in South America and I saw this little falcon that I was really enamored with, and I kept trying to figure out what it was called. It was like the scrappy little hawk falcon type thing, and I couldn't figure it out. And every time I would see one, I would like try and find the closest local and be like, permiso, ¿cuál es del nombre del Falcon Misterioso? They're like, no sé, weón, no sé. Anyways, here it is.
Riding on the wind, far over the sea, high above those rooftops, toward this balcony. Steady on the hind, I can hear it in your scream, hear it in your crying, high over Puerto. I say, oh, 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 yeah. Well, what, oh, what is your name? You fly so fierce, I hope we'll meet again. Way up in the Andes, far from the ocean breeze, country bird you become with such great ease. Travels they continue, deep in the hills we ride. If only this bus could go fast like you fly. I say, oh.